That's my cue. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jubilee Circle, and welcome today. We are beginning our Via Positiva theme. So today is the first day of summer. Yay. Let's hear it for summer.
And it's going to be hot.
And summer solstice, that's today. So yeah, so today is the longest day of the year, longest daytime. It's our slide into fall, so now we can start counting the days getting shorter. So by August, you will really start to notice the days getting shorter, and fall will be here. So but let's not wish our time away. Let's spend some time here right now, in the present, here at Jubilee Circle. We are beginning our Via Positiva theme of the Great Wide Open, which means we're going to be exploring ways that we can break our habit, and yes, we all have this habit, of closing our heart to the world. Instead, we're going to learn about ways that we can remain open no matter what the world looks like around us. It was author Mitch Albom in his book Tuesdays with Morrie who writes, "Status will get you nowhere. Only an open heart will allow you to float equally between everyone." And I think that's true. And if we think about the most open-hearted people that we may know in our lives, I think they prove this for us. When we're in the presence of really open-hearted people, we're not concerned with their status. They could be a homeless person on the street, the most powerful person in the world, if their hearts are truly open. All feelings of separation and difference we might be feeling between us just falls away. Living in the great wide open is how we cultivate that presence within ourselves, breaking the habit of closing down when things get tough, and we learn instead how to keep our heart open, even if we feel like we would prefer to shut down and just avoid whatever is going on. By remaining open, we learn about what matters in this world and what doesn't matter. Status doesn't matter. Your bank account doesn't really matter. Your jobs, your possessions, your feelings even, your beliefs, none of that matters. What matters is remaining present to what's happening in front of you and engaging fully with life. Being on the spiritual path, it doesn't mean that we are seeking to leave behind our humanity. Meher Baba says spirituality must make us more human. We're not seeking to renounce the things of this world, he says, but we are working on maintaining our peace within, that root of both our humanity and our divinity, while we live and move and have our being in this bodily world. All this quarter, we're going to be exploring ways that we can begin to learn how to keep our heart open, no matter how much we would like to disengage. Because being engaged with the world, it doesn't mean becoming entangled in it or caught up in it. What it means is that we learn how to enjoy life from a deeper place of love and appreciation. And when you can do that, that's when you get to say, oh yeah. And at every Jubilee Circle, every time we begin our celebration, we begin by remembering the four elements, the air and the earth and the water and the fire. And we burn sage as a reminder that this is a safe and a sacred time. And we call the four directions to orient ourselves in this sacred space and time.
Let us turn and face the east. Help us to arise from our beds each morning and dance with delight, Holy One, because the start of each new day should not be met with dread or indifference, but with a pure delight that we have been given another 24 hours to be your hands, your eyes, and your arms in this world. Help us to be moved to compassion by the suffering around us and embrace those in our lives who need to feel your delight. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the south. Help us to take delight, Holy One, even as the oppressive heat of the summer descends on us. Even in the thickness of this famously hot place, help us to be the refreshing cool breeze of delight to everyone we meet this day and every day. Let our dance of delight be infectious, causing everyone we meet to shuffle their feet in their own dance of delight. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the west. Let us take delight, Holy One, in the rising stars of the evening that marks the end of each of our days. Remind us that as those stars rise, we can put down any burdens that weigh us down and keep us from dancing with delight. Help us to allow others to also shed anything that holds them down, especially those opinions we may hold about the world that oppress or keeps anyone from dancing in their own delight. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the north. This is the time of year, Holy One, when we long for the chill of winter to dry the sweat from our brows. Remind us to take delight in the cold times, especially as they descend upon us again in due time. Remind us, Holy One, that the cold and barren times of life can be beautiful times when new growth and new delights enter our lives. Help us to be mindful, even as the flames of our dance seem to grow cold. Turn back toward the center. I invite you to find places of delight in your life today. Open your heart to them. As we open to delight, we learn what it feels like to be open, and then, when challenges come, we can learn how to return to this place of delight, even amid the chaos, because it is that habit of opening that will teach us, no matter what's going on, to say, oh yeah.
All right, so this morning we have sort of all, except for Beth, and ditched our instruments. Michael and Keith will be playing themselves as instruments. And I'm not going to say they're playing with themselves, but here on camera and everything. Welcome to Jubilee. All right, so let me introduce the band before we do this. You have Janice Mewborn over here on vocals and banjo. She'll pick that up in a minute. Tricia Fopp here on guitar and vocals. Beth Dehart on drums, and Michael Reisman on vocals and everything else, violin, viola, mandolin, what else? Piano, organ.
Let's see, steel drums.
Steel drums. He's going to play the steel drums today. It's going to be amazing. It'll be off camera so you can't see it, but anyway. And Keith Edwards, our resident peace, love, and vegan. All right. That's right. And I am Candace Shalou, the spiritual director of this menagerie. So, we're going to sing a Billy Jonas song for you this morning called Eyes Wide Open. I'm in a tight spot, don't know how to get out. Feels white hot, I need an escape route. Got my best shot, though I have my doubts. I got my eyes wide open. Need a miracle, I'm in way too deep to reach the pinnacle. From the bottom of the heap, so steep, can't sleep, beep, beep. Got to keep my eyes wide open. So put your head in the air, shoulders square, eyes wide open. Keep a steady stride, side to side, eyes wide open. You keep your ears tuned in, the journey begins with eyes wide open. Hand on the plow, feet on the ground, eyes wide open. Oh, watch out. Watching, bug out, and keep your eyes wide open. Look out, looking, dig out, and keep your eyes wide open. When you got no idea where to go, what to do, no idea what'll pull you through. No idea, well, it's up to you to keep your eyes wide open. 'Cause there's a miracle waiting in the wings. There's a miracle gonna make you sing. There's a miracle. Do one thing, keep your eyes wide open. And put your head in the air, shoulders square, eyes wide open. Keep a steady stride, side to side, eyes wide open. You keep your ears tuned in, the journey begins with eyes wide open. Hand on the plow, feet on the ground, eyes wide open. Everybody. Watch out, watching, bug out, and keep your eyes wide open. Look out, looking, dig out, keep your eyes wide open. You know you need your eyes wide open. Gotta keep your eyes wide open. Eyes wide open. Oh yeah. We hear your applause. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here At Jubilee Circle this morning on this fine and humid summer day. We are a community, a spiritual community, offering inspiration, affirmation, healing, and service to live abundantly, love wastefully, and awaken to our true divine self. We are a progressive and inclusive community, and we are affiliated with Jubilee Community in Asheville, North Carolina. We're influenced by Hebrew and Christian scriptures, but we give that a metaphysical twist. We read it through the lens of A Course in Miracles and other metaphysical texts, and we ground ourselves in creation spirituality, which basically means that we are not beginning in that dark place of original sin, but we instead begin in that bright place of delight, that original blessing where God created this infinite universe, this blue boat we ride around upon, all the creatures upon it, and finally, in that much debated and still controversial move, God created we weird and wonderful and wacky and amazing and beautiful and creative and contagious and, oh my, and frustrating and irritating and recalcitrant human beings. And God didn't look at all of that creation and go, wow, maybe I should have thought through that little part there. No, God looked at all of creation, all of it, and said, oh, that is very, very good. And God continues to delight in all of creation and invites us to do so as well. Oh, yeah. So a few announcements as we move along. Coming up next Sunday, we are going to continue our Via Positiva theme of the Great Wide Open. We're going to use music from Lady Gaga. Yay! We're going to play Born This Way again, y'all. It's going to be fun. Oh, yeah. I love that song. And we're going to learn how we can be open our heart to ourselves, open to who we were born to be. We're also going to be meeting through the July 4th holiday weekend, maybe even a little longer. The board will come together before July 4th and talk about plans to maybe bring y'all back into the building. Right now, the building is kind of torn apart. We have taken advantage of no one being here to continue some of our renovation plans. And so if you're used to seeing the bar here at what used to be a bar, well, not only did we not just lower the bar, we demolished the bar, and it's going to become a big countertop. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. So can't wait for y'all to see the new and improved Jubilee. Wednesday nights, we've been doing some previews and Zoom discussions. Keep an eye out on the Facebook page for some schedules on that. I don't think it's going to happen this coming Wednesday night, but we will resume those shortly, so please keep a lookout for those. And we do want to keep in touch with everyone, so during this time of physical and social distancing, it's hard to keep a hold of everybody. So if you would like to be on our mailing list, of course, you can go to jubileecircle.com and sign up. We would love to have your email and your information so we can keep in touch with you and keep you up to date on what is happening here. And also, please join us for our Zoom talk back. That will be at noon, or around noonish, following the celebration. And a link is posted at our website at jubileecircle.com and on our Facebook page, and you can easily find us from there. Were there anything else, any other shout-outs or announcements that we knew about?
Shout out to Lee.
Oh yeah, shout out to Lee for a couple of things, for helping to demolish the bar and for filling in for me last week. He did a great job, so yay! Yay, Lee. Lynn came through her surgery, and we're very happy about that and hope that she is somewhere where she can be watching us this morning. If so, we love you, Lynn. We can't wait to see you again. And she has been through a lot, but she's back in rehab, last I heard, and doing better, so good. All right. Anything else? All right. Hear these wise and holy words.
From the Jesus story, Matthew 10, 28 through 31 and 39. Do not fear those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who cannot destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father, and even the hairs of your head are all counted. So do not be afraid. You are of more value than many sparrows. Those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. From A Course in Miracles, Lesson 164. There is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. There is an ancient peace you carry in your heart and have not lost. There is a sense of holiness in you the thought of sin has never touched. All this today you will remember. This is the day when vain imaginings part like a curtain to reveal what lies beyond them. Now is what really is there and made visible, while all the shadows which appear to hide it merely sink away. This is the balance righted and the scale of judgment left to him who judges true. And in his judgment will a world unfold in perfect innocence before your eyes. Now will you see it with the eyes of Christ. Now is its transformation clear to you. Open the curtain in your practicing by merely letting go of all things you think you want. Your trifling treasures put away, and leave a clean and open space within your mind where Christ can come and offer you the treasure of salvation. He has need of your most holy mind to save the world. Is not this purpose worthy to be yours? Is not Christ's vision worthy to be sought above the world's unsatisfying goals? From Buddhist monk Pema Chodron in her book, Taking the Leap. Basic wakefulness, natural openness, is always available. This openness is not something that needs to be manufactured. When we pause, when we touch the energy of the moment, when we slow down and allow a gap, self-existing openness comes to us. It does not require a particular effort. It is available anytime. As a person whose name I can't pronounce once remarked.
Chogyam Trungpa.
Yeah, that person. Openness is like the wind. If you open your doors and windows, it's bound to come in.
These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Wherever you are, let's stand and sing. We got a new hugging song for you this time around from Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young called Got to Keep Open. You ready? Cece's, we have a flag on the field. A flag on the play. Cece is our canine mascot here at Jubilee Circle, and she loves to sit on the hi-hat pedal. So all right. 2, 3, 4. Well, it's high time you realize that I must live my life as it surrounds me. I can give you all the room you need to be yourself, as I've been saying. We can live our lives together, yes, and still remain ourselves if we believe. And I believe. Oh, oh, darling. Got to keep an open heart, got to keep an open mind, got to keep working hard, or you get left behind. Got to keep loving, got to keep giving, got to let nothing get in the way of living. Got to keep open. Well, I've given you my heart again, my soul, I gave you everything I had. Yes, and just as there's a special part of you that's yours alone to keep on playing, there's so much we can do together, everything you need if we believe. And I believe, oh, oh, darling. Got to keep an open heart, got to keep an open mind, got to keep working hard, or you get left behind. Got to keep loving, got to keep giving, got to let nothing get in the way of living. Got to keep an open heart, got to keep an open mind. James was right. Working hard, or you get left behind. Got to keep loving, got to keep giving, got to get nothing get in the way of living. Got to keep open. Oh yeah. All right. So our song this morning, for our sermon song, if I can get my pages to stop sticking together, the song by singer and songwriter Van Morrison, who you might remember some of his famous songs, such as Brown Eyed Girl, Into the Mystic, and Tupelo Honey. We're not doing any of those songs today. is one you probably haven't heard. It's called Open the Door to Your Heart. It appeared on his 2012 release called Born to Sing, No Plan B. All right. Mm-hmm. That was Van Morrison. That's what he's going to do. No Plan B. All right. And it goes something like this. I'm sorry, I have to hear it in my head first, or I can't start. Okay, 2, 3, 4. See, I didn't even hear it right. Okay, hang on, let me get it. So it's I got it now. 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your soul. Get back in the flow. Open the door to your heart. Money doesn't make you fulfilled. Money's just to pay the bills. It's need, not greed. Open the door to your heart. You got eyes to see and ears to hear. You gotta quit crying in your beer, my dear. If nobody gets what they want, tell me what's the use in that? Everybody just gets fat. Open the door to your heart. I have a news app on my phone, and some of you might have this as well, and it delivers all the latest headlines and links to the day's stories. And after you scroll through it, there's a message. I actually get to the end of this. Okay, so I have more time. So there's a message at the end when you scroll all the way through. And the message reads, "You are all caught up." And the other day it hit me just how completely accurate that sentence is, because after consuming and internalizing all of that fear, all of that anxiety, all of that disorientation of the day's events, I am indeed all caught up. I am caught up in the world of illusion that seeks with all its might to move me off the center of my peace, to make me forget that I am not this body, that I am indeed an innocent spirit held within the divine mind of God at all times. But reading through the day's news, it hooks me. It rocks my peace. It takes me away into this world of opinion, into this world of grievance, into this world where I feel overwhelmed and helpless. I am all caught up. And I think this world is evil. And I think it's hopeless. And that nothing I ever do or say or think or feel is going to make one bit of difference. What's the point? I'm all caught up. In that moment, my heart, it closes up. It closes up tight. It closes against those I judge to be wrong. There's lots of those. People I judge to be evil. I can find a lot of those too. Greedy people, racist people. Man, you can't spit without hitting one of those. Stupid people, they're everywhere. I see them. Any other label that my ego mind wants to create and then reinforce that sense of separation I feel. I get all caught up. And in those moments, I want to hide. I want to run. I want to get away from this world. And it's overwhelming fear and anxiety. And I don't think, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not think I'm alone in this. Oh, y'all ain't copping to it. Right, okay. I have dead silence. I got crickets back here. No, we are enlightened masters. We feel badly for you. Right, all right. I hear that, right. But the world is the way it is, Jubilants, because of the fear, because of the anxiety, the overwhelm and dread. And these guys may be in denial, but they got it too, I swear. We see it all around us. And it naturally moves us to close our hearts. We see it everywhere we look these days, and we close our hearts. To those who think or act or feel or look or vote differently than we do, we close our hearts. To those we see living differently, who are of a different race or class or gender identity or sexual orientation or whatever label it is that we have decided to place upon someone we call other. We have the world we have today because we're all very good at closing our heart to one another. What makes us close, according to the Buddhist teachings, is that we are always looking for something solid in this world to stand on. We're looking for a belief, a tribe, a country, a community, something that will give us a feeling of a solid identity, some place, some solid place to call home. There was a word, it went away. But anyway, no such thing exists in this physical world, the Buddhists say. Everything that we can encounter with our physical senses, it's all impermanent. Nothing in this world lasts. This too shall pass, and we with it. And how is that for an uplifting Sunday morning message? Aren't you glad you came to Jubilee today? Wait a minute, don't click away, don't click away. Because this is actually very, very good news. If we can come to grips with the impermanence of this world, with its very nature as shifting and unstable, then it will no longer become a place of fear and anxiety. Instead, it can become our training ground for opening our heart, for learning how to remain in our peace when events and things and emotions and memories and people and places tempt us to get all caught up. Buddhist monk Pema Chodron says, when we become familiar with this place of impermanence, it loses our power over us. It's no longer threatening. Instead of being caught up, we learn how to open ourselves to the one thing that all this caught upness does to us. We can learn to remain in the present moment and not be swept away by fear and anxiety. Basic wakefulness, says Chodron in today's reading, basic wakefulness, natural openness is always available. Every moment may be fraught with fear or danger or anger or prejudice, but every moment also offers us a chance to embrace that fear, to embrace that danger, to embrace our feelings and transform them into love. And I love how Chodron defines the ego. Y'all ready? This is great. You're never going to see it again the same. All right? You ready? You ready? The ego, she says, it's the experience of never being present. When you are not in the present moment, you are in your ego. That's ego. The experience of never being present. When we are all caught up, we are in ego, and it provides us some handy-dandy, fear-fueled distractions to keep our mind somewhere else, usually in the past, remembering old grievances and grudges, or in the future, dreaming of a moment that might just be better than this one. And this jubilance is how we all get caught up in the concerns of the world. It snatches us right out of our peace that every present moment comes to us offering. So how do we reclaim that peace? How do we break the habit of being all caught up? Well, Van Morrison says, open the door to your heart. 2, 3, 4. Backbiters always make mistakes. If you want to get an even break, think of everything that's at stake. Open the door to your heart. I know who my enemies are. Their slip is showing and the door is ajar. This time they pushed me too far. Open the door to your heart. You got eyes to see and ears to hear. You gotta quit crying in your beer, my dear. The Tibetan word, I know, oh, you were just ready. The drummer was going. All caught up, that's it. It's easy to get caught up. The Tibetan word for that feeling of being all caught up, it's shenpa. Say it with me. Shinpa. Chodron says it's usually translated as attachment, but she says it's probably better described as being hooked. Shinpa, Chodron writes, can prompt us to close our hearts, and she describes it in this way. At the subtlest level, we feel a tightening, a tensing, a sense of closing down. Then we feel a sense of withdrawing, not wanting to be where we are. That, she says, is the hooked quality. That tight feeling has the power to hook us into self-denigration, blame, anger, jealousy, and other emotions which lead to words and actions that end up poisoning us. Remember her definition of ego, the experience of never being present. If Shinpa has the ability to make us want to withdraw from where we are right now, then that closing, that feeling of being hooked, is how we live when we are in the ego. We're everywhere but right here. We're worrying about what's going to happen next, and if it will trigger some memory from long ago and send us into some sort of emotional tailspin. How do you live like that? Got your guard up all the time in this present moment. None of that is going on. The moment is simply here. It is offering us a chance to either open or close, be receptive or turn away. And so often we turn away because of fear, of course. We're afraid. We are afraid, honestly, that any given present moment is going to ask us to do something we really do not want to do. Like, I don't know, give up our attachment to the past or the future. We're afraid of the present moment because it might ask us to be open to it. It might ask us to allow it to pass through us, to become this pure energy of love and joy that it always possesses, that it's always ready to give us, no matter whether we judge what's happening out here as good or bad. We are afraid to be in this present moment because it feels unsafe. It feels unstable. It feels unsure. And so it's easier to look at your phone, turn on Netflix, do whatever, complain about the weather, bring up your past grievances, talk about your fear about the future. It's easier to go there than to open ourselves to the moment and the amazing experiences that the universe has to offer us. We shut down because we're afraid. But in today's Jesus story, he tells his disciples twice, 2 times, not to be afraid, even if those things out here in the world can ultimately destroy your body. Don't be afraid of it. Jesus says we're not our bodies. Our fear, or our sense of awe, is not to be spent out in this world, according to A Course in Miracles. And that's what Jesus is telling us too. Don't be in awe or in fear of those things that can harm you out here. Be in awe of God. That is the only entity that has the power to create or destroy anything. The Course tells us in the first chapter of the book, when we are in awe of the holy, we see life as an invitation to open up to the holy at every moment. When we are in awe of what is holy, we see life as an invitation to open up to that holiness of every moment. We know that all creation is valued by the holy, so we can be confident that when we open our lives up to the guidance from the holy, the Course says we will be blessed. So how do we begin? How do we practice staying open, even when moments of fear are threatening to overtake us? Well, according to Chodron, it's a very simple practice. You practice the power of the pause. When we pause, she writes, when we touch the energy of the moment, when we slow down and allow a gap, self-existing openness comes to us. We're not creating anything, we're allowing, she says. It doesn't require a particular effort. It's available anytime. So when that moment of irritation or fear or uncertainty arises, Chodron says, what do we say here at Jubilee? Breathe deeply. In fact, take 3 deep breaths, she says, no matter what's going on. Then we feel a sense of refreshment. We allow the openness that's already there to emerge. Drop the story you're telling yourself about this moment, she says, and simply pause. Look out and breathe. Simply be present. For a few seconds, she says, for a few minutes, for a few hours, a whole lifetime, with our own shifting energies and with the unpredictability of life as it unfolds. wholly partaking in all experiences just exactly as they are. And the more often we can do this, Chodron says, the more habitual it will become. We are only an ego when we are avoiding this moment, which means we habitually spend a lot of time in our ego. And this can serve as a bell of mindfulness to us whenever we notice anxiety, whenever we notice tension, whenever we notice that we're closing up to what's happening in the moment. We stop. We find that gap. We breathe. We drop the story. We stay open. Even as the ego tries to distract us into closing up, into getting hooked and all caught up. Chodron's teacher, Chogyam Trungpa, he says, openness is like the wind. If you open your doors and windows, it is bound to come in. Breathe deeply. 2, 3, 4. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your soul. Get back in the flow. Open the door to your heart. Money doesn't make you fulfilled. Money's just to pay the bills. It's need not greed. Open the door to your heart. You got eyes to see and ears to hear. You gotta quit crying in your beer, my dear. Is any of this easy? No. Just a couple of weeks ago, I found myself on the hook. I was all caught up. Beth was showing me a video that was filled with all these right-wing talking points about the death of George Floyd. And as I watched that video, I felt my anger, my frustration, my anxiety start to rise. And what did I do? Did I pause? Did I breathe deeply?
She did not.
Did I drop the storyline and relax? No. Of course I didn't. I was off to the races. I got my diatribe on, man. Woo! About how ridiculous these people are who believe all these conspiracy theory, claptrap, blah, 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 blah. Oh, man. Hit my stuff. Woo! Took me right out of the present moment. Beth had asked me a very important question before she showed me this video. Completely ignored that. Went off on my rant. And y'all are not telling me I'm alone. Come on. We all do that. Oh, yeah. It really, it got me. But we all habitually close. We all get triggered by stuff, whether it's ideas we disagree with, somebody cuts us off in traffic, whatever your pet peeve is of the day. Our habitual closing keeps us tethered to the ego. It distracts us with anger and fear, even laughter, when it wants to keep us closed up to the world around us. So how do we develop that habit of openness? Well, first, you have to be willing to work on it, to create a new habit about being open. Secondly, we work with Shenpo. We work with that which hooks us. And so Chodron offers those 3 steps. Acknowledge that you are hooked. Pause and breathe deeply. Drop the story. Then relax and move on. And it sounds so easy. And of course, it's not. Because our habit of closing is so strong and it is unconscious. And this is a process of becoming conscious. Conscious of the things and situations, whether they are large or small, that hook us, that take us away from being present to this moment. And it is important to remember what the Course tells us in today's reading. There is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. There is an ancient peace that you carry in your heart and have never lost. And that is what Chodron says arises, comes up when we allow, when we stop and we breathe and we allow, when we find that gap. The Course says there is a sense of holiness in you. The thought of sin has never touched. And this is what we're trying to allow to arise all we need to resist Shinpa, to stay open to the present moment. It's already within us. We don't need a book. We don't need a guide. We don't need a guru. We don't need a teacher. You don't even need this talk. The world will present you with all the lessons that you will ever not want, all the lessons that you will, however, need. All this today you will remember, the Course says. This is the day when vain imaginings part like a curtain to reveal what lies beyond them. Now is what is really there is made visible, while all the shadows which appeared to hide it merely sink away. This, jubilance, this is the day that you decide to begin welcoming those moments of Shinpa into your life, because you have yet another chance to practice being open, to not close your heart. It took me a few minutes of ranting. A few minutes of ranting. A little more than one. Before I caught myself, before I caught my capital S self, and finally came around to a place where I could actually hear Beth's question, first of all, and understand what she was asking me, and respond in a manner that might be helpful instead of just becoming an immediate raving lunatic. So the message is we don't have to stay caught. When you are caught, you can recognize it. Come back to the present moment. Touch that ancient silence. Touch that ancient peace that cannot be ruined or intruded upon by the world around us. Allow it to rise up from you because it is there. And when we do that, the Course says, when we let go of all the things that you think you want, that's when we find that peace. We always want the world to be the way it is, I mean, one way or another. We prefer it would be this way, we prefer it not be that way, so we can feel good. But that is not the world's job. The world will do what the world will do, and our job is to be okay with that, to be open, to allow the world to pass through us. And it doesn't mean that we don't engage this world or try to alleviate the suffering of the world. What it means is this: if you can stay open, if you can truly be present to life, whether it brings you joy or pain, you can bring and you can allow that ancient silence, that ancient peace that you already possess to be unleashed in this world. And not just end our suffering around us, but to end your own suffering. And you can only do that if you're okay with the present moment. Michael Singer gives the example of Mother Teresa. He says she was okay with all the illness around her. It didn't mean she liked it, but she was okay. Her heart was open to those people who needed her. And Singer says, if you're okay and you don't need anything, you're filled with love and joy and inspiration and passion for what you do, you can help others. Because you don't need to take from them. And that's what it means, jubilance, to live in the great wide open. You are so filled with love and joy and inspiration and passion that you don't need anything from this world. So you're available to help others. Being open, it's a practice. And it allows you to cut the ego's tether that keeps you from remembering who you are, that beloved, innocent child of the Holy. You are worth more than any sparrow, Jesus says. You are loved in so much detail that every hair on your head is counted. That is a big number for some, not so much for others. But your Creator knows you from the inside out. And as we go on in this Via Positiva, we're going to talk about more specific situations where you might be tempted to close down, to allow the ego to take you right out of the present moment. But we begin here with 3 steps to practice. Notice that you're hooked. Pause. Breathe deeply. Relax and let go. Let go of all the stories you're telling yourself about this moment and allow it to be what it is. Will you do that perfectly every time? Oh, no. Absolutely not. We have been living in the habit of closing our hearts our entire lives. So this process is going to take some time. So be gentle with yourself, because recognizing a habit is the first step to breaking it. And so we're trying to clear an open space in our mind, jubilance. And when we do that, the Course promises us that the Holy will offer us the treasures of salvation, it says. And basically that is that silence, that ancient peace that is necessary for us to touch and allow and bring forth so we can fulfill our function as saviors of this world. So I invite you this morning, jubilance. I invite you, if you feel so led, If you want that kind of peace, if you want to allow it to come forth from you into the world, begin that practice today of opening the door to your heart. And soon, everybody you meet is going to look at you and go, oh, yeah. 2, 3, 4. If you can't hear the song, you're wrong. I've been around too long. Just listen to the words, that's all. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your soul. Gotta get back in the flow. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your soul. Gotta get back in the flow. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your heart. Open the door to your soul. Gotta get back in the flow. Open the door to your heart. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So, during this time of contemplation, I invite you to feel. Breathe deeply and pause and just feel what it feels like to have your heart open. Think of something that makes you happy, that makes you joyful, that makes you feel one with all creation, no matter what that is. And just feel what that feeling feels like, because that's what you're going for in every moment, to come back to that feeling. Two, three, 4. God, y'all, I don't even hear songs today. Okay, 2, 3, 4. My soul, slower. We're going too fast. Hey, y'all, it's like rehearsal. Here we go. 2, 3. My soul is a candle, it lights up the world. My soul the path. My soul is a candle, it burns away the dark. Only love brings us sight, only peace brings the light, only joy breaks the night. Together we can burn bright. Your soul is a candle, it shows us the way. Your soul is a candle, it's meant to burn bright. Your soul is a candle, a flame, fueled by love. Only love brings us sight, only peace brings the light, only joy breaks the night. Together we can burn bright. My soul is a candle, it lights up the world. Oh yeah. All right, so I invite you, we'll be switching over to Zoom here very shortly, so I invite you to join us on our Zoom call. And one of the things that has become in sharp relief these days is we are still, many of us social distancing, many of us doing all we can to avoid contagion. We still have a building here that we are supporting. We have a couple of staff members that we support here at Jubilee Circle, and so we are grateful for those of you who have continued to support us in our time of social distancing and this time that we can't physically come together. And we thank you for that, and we ask that for those who are giving, thank you so much for that. And if you feel led to give to help us during this time, we ask that you do so, and we thank you in advance for that. You can do that on our website at jubileecircle.com, or there are two ways to give on that page, so please visit that page. And thank you so much for your support. And we believe that giving is receiving, that there is a big circle, it is a circulation of resources. No one hoards anything. Everything that we have, we give back through the community. And so things go round in a circle. So giving is receiving. And so our affirmation that we say is, God's love has always met and will always meet my needs. I give freely and receive joyfully, knowing that giving and receiving are the same. And we thank you in advance for supporting us here at Jubilee Circle as we continue to do our ministry, mainly here online. And we thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to head over to our Zoom call now, and you can find that link at jubileecircle.com or on our Facebook page. And we invite you to come. What we do in our talkback session is we chat about today's message and any insights or ideas that you might have had while experiencing this celebration. And so we invite everyone, even if you disagree, we love a disagreement because, hey, we can practice shenpa and not get caught up in our stories and our own. We can use that. Everything is a learning experience. So we invite you to join us there. We're going to sing for a little. No. We're going to try it again every week. Maybe we'll get it. We are here for all of us. Some of us for all of us. That was close. We are here. We are here for all of us. And from all of us to all of you, thank you so much for joining us. Join us again next Sunday, of course. And until then, let the people say, oh yeah.